Grand Rising, everybody. Hopefully, anyone can see us. I don't know. Maybe. Hello, hello, hello. Is there anybody out there? Grand Rising. Hello, everybody. We've had some wonky energy. I've had some very weird internet issues occurring. So let's see if we are live, if we can actually get this to go today. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Maybe. Is there anybody out there? Grand Rising, Freebird. Freebird. Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Is that, how come is that Leanne? Did you change your name? Freebird, did you change your name? Grand Rising, Victoria, Grand Rising. Hello, everybody. There we go. I guess we are going. So yay, that's exciting. Facebook is actually going. YouTube is going. Welcome, everybody. Kelly Jones over there. Welcome, sister. Hello, everybody. It's me. It is you, Leanne. I thought I recognized the picture, even though I can't see that far. So that's pretty good. It's the vibe, too. It is you. I love it. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. Grand Rising, everybody. Hello. Happy Tuesday. We made it. Sorry. I apologize about our delay yesterday. Yesterday was a wonky day. The energy's here. Our internet was down. I wasn't able to get connected through Zoom, Facebook, internet stuff was just wonky. And honestly, my energy was just wonky yesterday, and I just didn't have the energy to struggle with the energy. I said, okay, I surrender. I understand. I hear you, universe. And it became a very restful, relaxation, releasing day for me. So I hope that you guys had a wonderful day yesterday. And I'm glad that we're able to be back here, and that it seems that the energy is good. Joanne, welcome. Joanne, welcome, welcome. Joanne Fox, I just found out that my great-grandfather's, I just found out that was my great-grandfather's last name. From my grandma's side. That's why I'm like, why wouldn't you know that? But like, I just found out. Anyway, that's a whole nother side story. Grand Rising, don't surrender. Grand Rising, Grand Rising. You know what, brother? I have learned to surrender to the universe when it comes to spiritual things. I have found that surrender in the spiritual realm is actually the winner. It is how, I don't know how else to explain it. I came from a never surrender attitude for a long time. And sometimes that not surrendering is me carrying the rock and trying to make things happen. And so therefore I surrender to spirit when all the signs are against me, I don't force my will anymore. I don't. I highly recommend surrender when it comes to that, because magic happens. And it did for me yesterday. Even though I wasn't able to be here with you guys, I really had a magical breakthrough in my spiritual beingness, if you will. I had an opportunity to go within. And do some of my own spiritual healing. I needed to do some work. That was what was being called, obviously. And here I am, and it's good. So exactly, surrender to yourself. That is my universe. Absolutely, I agree with that 100-fold. Yes, we're on the same page there, right? Kelly, I see you coming in and out. I think we might be having some TikTok issues over there, but thank you guys for those hearts and coming in, or maybe you're helping me with the algorithm and that, whichever. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, Joanne, no worry. I was actually just commenting, Joanne, that I just found out that Fox is part of my ancestral lineage. The last name Fox, from Nebraska. Any Foxes from Nebraska, that's where, although we're not 100%, I don't know that there's bloodline with my grandma, if that makes sense, with the stories and the families. But the names are there on the senses of he was part of the family. He was an extended part of the family, if not a blood part of the family. So, anywho. All right, guys, here we are. We're on Tuesday. We're on Tuesday. We made it to Tuesday. Welcome if you're new. I'm Earth Angel Jamaica. It's a blessing and an honor to have you in this space, place, and time. This is where we come together every morning, setting our intentions to nourish ourselves, mind, body, and spirit. We focus on the spiritual laws of prosperity, which are tithing, forgiveness, goals, and life purpose. Today being Tuesday, we are going to talk about forgiveness is the kind of the focal point that we have, right? And forgiveness is actually such a beautiful tool. And it was one that I got to practice yesterday when I was talking about, those heavy energies. It's very interesting. Nothing was going my way. Literally, even my body felt very heavy yesterday. I just felt dense and heavy and just, and I had to stop, right? It was that calling within, surrender, stop, go within. And I found that I had some forgiveness work to do. There was some energies coming up in my world that, and again, guys, I'm a believer if we are still in this physical human form, there's forgiveness work to practice because that's part of this experience as being a human. But I was able to go within and do some major releasing and letting go. And that's the beautiful thing about forgiveness. Is forgiveness isn't about the other person, place, or situation. And the funny thing is when we hold the resentment, the anger, regret, any of those things about those things that we're not willing to forgive, really it's us. Like we're dragging it around, that heaviness, that density. I was dragging that around with me, and it was time for it to come and be let go, release. And that's the gift of forgiveness. Is I wasn't saying that the situation that and there was something honest I had buried. It was an emotion that I had buried down the line, right? Pretend it didn't exist. And then all of a sudden, some events in my life came up that triggered that had come up. And I was feeling wonky and I could have blamed it on other things, but I had to dig deep and like, what is this feeling really coming from? And it was like, oh, it's an old regret and an old anger, like a whole situation where I had to do healing work, forgiveness work. I had to do forgiveness for myself and for that person and for the whole situation, the people, places, and things, right? It wasn't as simple as just a tiny little, oh, I forgive me or I forgive them. It was the whole encompassing forgiveness of all of it. And that's the magic that forgiveness is. Thank you, Angela. Thank you. That's what forgiveness is, like the magical key that unlocks us from the shackles that we're carrying around. And so today, going through the work, I feel a lot lighter. I feel a lot better. I feel more, balanced. And so we do have to take the time to go within and focus. That's why we talk about forgiveness, right? That's why we talk about forgiveness, because we have to bring it into our realm, remind ourselves that, there's still some work maybe here or there, and be paying attention to it, right? So with that being said, let's just take a moment and practice the one tool we all like to talk about on here, tools that we have available to us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Of course, we go into our essential oils, we go into crystals, we go into all the different herbs, things like that we can use around us to help raise our vibes, help bring us into alignment. But the one main amazing tool that we all have is that meditation, right? Breath and meditation. Hold on one moment. I got to open the window. It's getting warm in here. That's the beauty of a fireplace. Heat rises. It gets so stinking warm with the fireplace going that I have to like literally open windows and cool it down. But it's something about wood heat. Nice. I have a bloodline in the States. Oh, really, Joanne? Okay, I'll get sidetracked onto that. Oh my gosh. We might be bloodline. Who knows, right? All right. So before we get all kinds of sidetracked, let's just take a minute. Let's do a quick little meditation. This is the one tool that we can always use no matter what, and especially when it comes to forgiveness. And we're talking about anger and resentment and frustration, right? When we find ourselves in these situations, when we find ourselves in the midst of challenges throughout our days, which happens to all of us, no matter where we're at in our spiritual journey, we all get faced with challenges. because that's part of having this human experience. We're spiritual beings having a human experience amongst billions of others around us having this experience, and that can create challenges, right? So, how do we learn to deal with that? Is by learning to go within, learning to use these tools, right, that we have, going in and controlling ourselves. We can't control things outside of ourselves, but when it comes to this forgiveness, right, we can control ourselves. And so, I mean, even as simple as when we're out and about and you're driving, this is what's, coming through right now, road rage. We get out and about and we're in a hurry. We want to get where we're going, and people might cut us off, and people might turn in front of us, or almost sideswipe us, this and that. And we get so angry. We get so frustrated. We're so quick to just be mad, get angry. They're idiot. Look at this idiot. Look at how stupid this person is. Can you believe them? Do they not pay attention? If they never driven, do they not? Where'd they get their license? Cracker Jack box, right? All that energy, right? But we don't have to do that. We have a choice. We could stop and practice even this tool, right? No, stop. When we feel this wonkiness, stop and just take a few breaths. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in love. Exhale love. Breathe in peace. Exhale peace. Love thy brother, love thy neighbor as thyself, right? Love thyself. How many times have we accidentally cut somebody off in traffic and didn't see them and think, oh gosh, my bad? What if that's your grandmother driving? Would you like someone to be angry with your grandmother in that way? Or would you want peace and love and gentleness and kindness to her? Teddy, so good to see you, brother. So good to see you. I love it. I set the clock 13 minutes ahead. That way she's never late in her car. What a beautiful tool, right? Again, these are little tools, mind tricks, tools that we can use. And meditation and breath work and just setting our intention, you guys, is one of the most powerful tools that we have available 24/7, 7 days a week, no matter where we're at. We can stop in the midst of any challenge and just say, I'm breathing in love. I'm breathing in peace. I'm exhaling love. I'm exhaling peace. Come within, connecting to that divine guidance, connecting to the peace and the calm. Just taking that moment. If we have the time to close our eyes and really go into that deeper meditation, that's great. But right now, we're talking about when we're in the midst of a challenge out and about in our world around us, and we don't have, even if somebody's maybe we're having, an experience at a convenience store, or a checkout store, or a grocery store, and the checker's just having a really bad day, and that confrontation could be very possible, right? But if we check ourselves before we wreck ourselves, to quote Brother Bear, right? And just breathe. One of my mentors in my past, one of the things she taught me as well is to swallow 3 times. Just stop and swallow 3 times. Because it takes a conscious effort. And if we do that, we can bring ourselves back into us, back into our true power of setting our intention of what, and then we are not reactive and responding to outside of us. We're reacting and responding to who we are, remembering who we are, and sending that vibration back out. So, deep breaths, breathe in love, exhale love. All right, we've been talking about vibes, feeding ourselves, nourishing ourselves, mind, body, and spirit. We're talking about the vibes of the animals. Let's see, come back here. The M word, we don't say that, so we replace it with vibes because they don't like us to say that word on Facebook, apparently. They don't understand our language. They misinterpret things. So be it. Mind your mind and mind your manners. I like that. Miss Kelly Jones. I like that. Okay. So today we've been talking a little bit. We learned a few weeks ago now we've got into really our energy systems, our vibes, our chakra systems. And now we've been talking about animals and the vibes that animals carry, the different messages that animals carry. Oops, there's my sunshine getting me all. Look it, lighting me up. The different messages, the different vibes that they can carry. And that's the cool thing when we start to understand the vibes of the universe, understand the messages that are constantly around us. The universe is divinely conspiring just for you, just for me, just for you, all of us simultaneously to bring us exactly the messages, the information that we could use to help us to elevate. Oops, I thought I changed that. To elevate, to change our pattern, to realize something, come into a higher, different understanding. And so today we are talking about, and I just think this is so, um, it was so beautiful. Again, the universe, you guys, I promise, is always divinely conspiring just for you and me and us and the show. And I love seeing how it simultaneously always comes together every day. Had we been on the show yesterday, would have been Snake, but we weren't because it wasn't time. There was work to do, things happen, whatever, right? Universe conspiring, there's a reason. So today we're talking about the snake. By the way, which was the last one on our list, and then we're going to go into, we'll figure out how we're going to go into the other animals, but this was the first list we threw out a couple of weeks ago, right, to go into. I think this is amazing because this morning, and I share with you guys always part of my spiritual practices. I get up at 5 a.m. I'm usually up at like 4 or 5 a.m. And I do my own little hour or so meditation with spirit where I do my prayers and I stop and listen and communicate. And there's just this thing we do. And I like to use fire. I like to use candles. I like to, I have my own little thing going. And so I found it very interesting this morning because the fire was very healing this morning and very in the meditative. I was using the fire in the fireplace to meditate with and was really able to experience some interesting realizations that I came to, some interesting information, downloads, I like to call them. This is how I received this information. I even did a TikTok video this morning. And the reason I'm telling you guys this is because after I read about the snake, it's just very interesting. I want you to go see how the synchronicities work without me knowing this was what was going to come in. The snake was not, didn't even know the snake was going to be talked about yet. Okay. So just go check it out. The synchronicities already occurring. I was just like, wow, Stuart, I just love you. You guys are just going to get a kick out of it. So check out the video. You'll know what I mean as soon as you see it. So today, though, we are talking about the snake vibes and what snake vibes can mean. So again, I share this book. This is from Jamie Sams and David Carson. I want to make sure I got Jamie Sams and David Carson. If you can tell, this book has been taped. I've had to tape it back together. Literally, there is highlights. I mean, this book has been 80,000 miles. We figured it out the other day. Over 80,000 miles across the United States with me. And I used this for just that. I would go into prayer throughout my journeys and be asking different questions about whatever. And then I would see different animals come across my path. And every time within the animal message, there was a message of what I had been asking about every time. And that's the beauty of the synchronicities of the universe. To quote Nikola Tesla, if we want to understand the secrets of the universe, start to think in terms of frequency, vibration, and energy. Okay. And so the animals do have their own energy. So snake is all about it represents transmutation. Snake vibe people are very rare. Their initiation involves experiencing and living through multiple snake bites, which allow them to transmute all poisons, be they mental, physical, spiritual, or emotional. The power of snake vibe is the power of creation, for it embodies sexuality, psychic energy, alchemy, reproduction, and ascension. The transmutation of the life, death, rebirth cycle is exemplified by the shedding of snake skin. It is the energy of wholeness, cosmic consciousness, and the ability to experience anything willingly and without resistance. It It is the knowledge that all things are equal in creation, and that those things which might be experienced as poison can be eaten, ingested, integrated, and transmuted if one has the proper state of mind. Thoth, the Atlantean, who later returned as Hermes and was the father of alchemy, used the symbology of two snakes intertwined around a sword to represent healing. Complete understanding and acceptance of the male and female within each organism creates a melding of the two into one, thereby producing divine energy. Just going to point out, every ambulance you've ever seen, every medical place you've ever seen, notice it's a sword with the snakes wrapped around it. This vibe teaches you on a personal level that you are a universal being. Through accepting all aspects of your life, you can bring about the transmutation of the fire medicine. Oops, I mean vibes. This fire energy, when functioning on the material plane, creates passion, desire, procreation, and physical vitality. On the emotional plane, it becomes ambition, creation, resolution, and dreams. On the mental plane, it becomes intellect, power, charisma, and leadership. When this snake energy reaches the spiritual plane, it becomes wisdom, understanding, wholeness, and the connection to the Great Spirit. If you have chosen this symbol, there is a need within you to transmute some thought, action, or desire so that wholeness may be achieved. This is heavy magic, but remember, magic is no more than a change in consciousness. Become the magician or the enchantress. Transmute the energy and accept the power of fire. What? I'm just saying, you gotta check out the TikTok. Wait till you see the TikTok from this morning. It's just so great how synchronicities happen. Transmute the energy. Yes, Snake has been coming to me as well the past few weeks, especially, which I just found again after yesterday's my little mini healing I had for myself yesterday. I don't know if the universe is conspiring for you, but I know it's conspiring for me. I'm kidding. I know it's conspiring for you too, because that's what it does. How beautiful is it that we are getting the same message? Miss Kelly says, I'm very connected to the snake. We usually have at least one in the house. Purple. I get outraged when someone kills a snake, right? I'm telling you, I have been fascinated with them by them recently, the past few weeks, especially. I've never been afraid of snakes, but I've never been drawn to them, I will say, either. It's kind of like that. It was a, I don't know. They did it. It wasn't neither. It wasn't for or against them per se. I grew up in Arizona where we have rattlesnakes, so I respect them. I will tell you that. I always respect them. But recently, yes, I've really been in my meditations, in my own thought processes and my own things, really thinking about the life, death, and rebirth of um the snake. How a snake will literally take, right? It's food, it's nourishment. So symbolic of us, mind, body, and spirit, right? Just this whole honk. It eats this whole thing whole. And then the process, right? It goes through and it's the processing system that it has. And that's kind of how we are as we just learned about our energy systems, right? We come through this world and we bite off big chunks of energy, right? And then we allow it to process through us. And that's why it's so important to know our own energy systems, because this energy is processing through our energy systems, kind of like that the snake. And it even kind of weaves through us when we learned about our energies, right? How it starts at our roots, and our energy is kind of the way our chakra systems work is really they're set up almost like a gearing system of like a clock, where it's like this wheel turns this one turns this one, and this one and this one. And then really, if you were to get in there, there's so many spinning. It's not just one either creating a one thing. It's they're spinning, just like you see the little atom things, all the two, right? The same thing through the snake, right? That by the processing, the digesting of it, we're really kind of doing that same thing, and then releasing out um, transmuted information, transmuted energy. And that's the power of what we just like practiced this morning in that breathing, right? That's that snake vibe, that we get to choose how we're digesting and what we put back out, right? What we swallow whole. So again, using the driving, I don't know why driving's coming up as an example, but it is. There's what that's what spirit's using this morning, analogies. That's what comes up for us, right? But if we're driving and we're in that road rage, if we have somebody outside of ourselves, right? If you ever notice when you're what your vibe is when you're driving, if you have one person cut you off, next thing you know, everybody's out to get you on the road, and everybody's a jerk, and everybody's right. Or we could take that energy and transmute it and put back out into the world, that positive loving, and transmute it, literally the energy we're receiving from the outside of us, because it's our interpretation of it, right? We get to shift it around, shift what we're putting back out from what we receive in. It's pretty cool. I have not muted my phone and then it's just going off, so let me do that over there. Sorry guys. There we go. Okay. Too bad that Zoom was transmuted last night, right? Well, Teddy, I believe, like I said, there's always a reason for everything. Spirit is always divinely conspiring for us, even if it appears like that. We can push and be upset and, oh, it didn't go our way. But it was time for us to go within last night. It wasn't time to come together as a group. It was time to individually go within and take that opportunity, transmute that energy, transmute that belief about what's happening, that the universe is working against us. And instead of being, it's working against us, transmute it into it was working for us. I'm sad that we didn't get to meet together because I love our meeting time together. But on the same note, I'm happy that I had that time because I feel better and I was able to do some personal healing time that was needed. And we all needed that, obviously, right? So, all right, guys. We used to do snake shows at schools. That's cool, Kelly. That's really cool. Hi, Victoria, you're back. Yay! I do. I love the snakes. I am not anti. Like I said, I'm not against them. I've never been against or for. But I want to say now, recently, I'm more like for them, really for them, and understanding them more. And like even what's fascinating to me recently, this is why I find this so interesting, because snake has been fascinating to me recently. That's the thing too. Like if you guys have ever had an animal that has always been in, you've known it's always been around, but all of a sudden for some reason you're just very interested in that animal, like you're curious about it, something gets your attention. That's the vibes we're talking about. These are the messages, right? These are things saying, hey, yeah, there's some information. Snake has some things that snake can teach you. If you're open, right? We're so like closed-minded to this type of thinking, but if we open up to like, okay, again, let's look at how snake behaves. Let's look at the things like I love this brings up, right? Snake people, they've been bit, right? Multiple snake bites, but they're able to transmute that poison, right? Whether it be mental, physical, and spiritual. How many of us have been bitten, mind, body, or spirit, by the venom of somebody else's energy out in that world multiple times? But have we been able to transmute that energy, right? Transmute it. That's powerful medicine. And we have that available to us. Or have we let it take us out? Have we let the poison, and transmuting it? It's so beautiful. We're talking about forgiveness. When we get those snake bites, one of the only ways for us to get rid of it is through forgiveness, forgivingness, letting it go, forgivingness. Otherwise, we hold on to the poison, right? We hold on to it, especially as an empath. Exactly. We're only damaging ourselves. But many of us, a lot of us, especially as spiritual beings, the light workers in the world, you guys, a lot of us signed up for these multiple snake bites, right? Why? Why did we sign up for that? Because we built an immune system to it, but not a hardening of it, but a way to transmute it and to help others. To not let it bring us down, but to transmute it into the positive, what we put out there, and to help others along the way to do that. It's powerful, right? Teddy says, I have too many bites to count in my life, but I just keep walking forward. And that's brave. But I'm going to gently suggest the forgiveness along that, right? Because we can be brave and courageous and keep walking, but then sometimes we're dragging that stuff along, those bites, right? We're not releasing. We're still carrying the poison of those bites with us. If we want to let go of the poison of those bites so that we can walk forward without carrying that with us, we need to offer that forgiveness. And it doesn't mean we have to go back and let them rebite us. Just because we offer forgiveness and we get rid of the poison doesn't mean that, okay, we're going to go back and get more of that poison. No, it does not mean that. It means that we're moving forward. Like Teddy said, we're moving forward. We're not going to do that. No. Right? Forgiveness is the anti-venom. Exactly. Yes. Oh, thank you, Spirit. What a great analogy this is going into this morning, right? It's so perfect. So perfect. Because it's exactly that. When we get bit out there and we have the power, right? What's an anti-venom, right? A snake for a snake bite is the venom from the snake, is part of the snake bite venom, is part of the anti-venom. Within, in other words, right? The anti-venom is within us in the forgiveness. It's right there. And there's the message that the snake can teach us. Do we see how these vibes, these things can teach us if we're open to receive? And again, it doesn't mean I haven't seen a snake in person, and I'm okay with that. I really am. I'm not like, I'm okay. But snake's been coming to me recently, so we don't have to necessarily physically see that energy to say, oh, it's a message. Obviously, snake's been bringing me a message for weeks, and I've been getting small little tidbits. I find it interesting how they crawl or don't crawl. Like, really, if you want to see a magical being on this planet, for me, look at a snake. They have no legs, no hands, no nothing to, they got their mind, body, period. And somehow they managed to literally And what I know to be because of atoms, right? This is the thing that I think is cool. It appears to us that they're laying on the ground and flatly going upon the ground. But what we know about atoms is like nothing actually ever touches. Even our fingers, when they're like this and it feels like they're touching, the way atoms and our cellular structure works is it actually is vibrating. And there is a tiny micro smidge of resistance between the two that actually is not allowing it to physically touch, even though to the physical human eye we can't see that. Okay, so that same thing is happening with the snake, which means really they're like floating. They're elevating, floating. They're just floating along with nothing. It's just their vibe. That's a pretty magical being. I'm just saying. That is a pretty magical being in my book. Did you know snake doesn't have a urinary tract? What? Okay. Okay. Like, no, now you just blew my mind, Miss Kelly. What? Okay, but they go potty. They do go potty, right? Yes. No. Have I seen a snake go potty before? I swear I seen Robert Irwin get peed on by a snake, but it might have been a lizard. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know. Do they go potty? They have to go potty, right? Because but they digest, they pee and poop out the same. I don't know. See, I'm so into snakes now. I'm gonna have to find out more. We're gonna be doing a whole snake week here soon. Now, watch. That's what's coming. I feel it. And a snake gets a bad rep. Thanks. Yeah, I agree with that as well. That's thanks to the Bible, Teddy. Right? It's kind of interesting because that's what's really been bringing up my philosophy, thinking of because I believe that my take on biblical is that they're very metaphysical stories for us, just like this, like giving us information to learn from. And so I believe there's a much different meaning for myself. I believe the snake means to us than what we've been told or led to believe, and that's what that's where I'm going with it too. So I think the snake got the bad rap, and that there's like a whole bunch of information we're really missing when we go back and relook at that I've been getting downloads about lately. And that's how it works for me. I ask Spirit about this stuff because I'm like, this doesn't make sense, Spirit. Like, can you help me understand what is this really trying to say, be? And I get this type of information. So this is Spirit divinely conspiring. It's great. Hello, Jessica. Welcome. Grand Rising. Grand Rising. All right, guys. It is 9:09. So we've chatted about the snake vibes. I have a feeling we're gonna wrap back around. We're gonna wrap back around to snake. Get it? Did you guys get that? Yeah. Okay. That was corny, Jamaica. All right. Let's move on. Food for thought to quote Wayne Dyer, one of my favorites. When we start to, did I see your comment? Which comment, sweetheart? I seen the one about the urinary tracts. Did you hear me ask about them? I don't think I did. Maybe I missed a comment. What did I miss before I move on? Repeat it, Kelly, please, sister. Thank you for the follows, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Dun, 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 dun. Well, I'm waiting for your comment, but I don't see it popping up. Maybe we have another weird lag. I don't know. It's been a wonky day with that type of stuff the past few days. Thank you for all those hearts, you guys. That helps tremendously with the algorithm, getting us on the lives and across people's screens. So thank you for that. That is huge. All right. So what I love is I like to share with you guys part of my spiritual practice is mind, body, and spirit, right? We look at the things we're putting in and around our body, things we're putting into our minds, and looking at our spirit, right? Our connection with the great spirit. I will get there. That was just a total, like, I don't even know what happened there. I went totally blank. Thank you. Thank you. So I like to share with you guys part of my spiritual practices. I like to give myself food for thought, reading different mystics, different philosophers, just different leaders, things like that. I love the Science of Mind. It's a guide for spiritual living, Science of Mind magazine. You can get your own copy, scienceofmind.com. It's only $5 a month. It's loaded with different mystics, different mystics guides, philosophers, things like that. Gives us a little quote and then a little food for thought. Comments are repeated. Comments are repeated. I don't think I'm getting what you're saying, love. Comments are repeated. I see comments are repeated, but I don't see. No worries, Jessica. Hang out with us, hon. I don't see what was repeated. So I don't know what's going on. I'm missing something. Sorry, I'm not doing it on purpose. April over here says, takes a strong person to say sorry, but greater strength comes with forgiveness. Exactly. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and do our little food for thought, and then I'll see if your comment pops up. Hopefully, Kelly. Hopefully, I can talk today. So our quote today comes from Evelyn Underhill. And the quote is, our title is, Our Whole Intention. Mysticism is the art of union with reality. When we learn to start from where we now are and forgetting our old patterns of thought, which have limited us, begin to enlarge them, to increase our belief and faith, and to accept a greater good daily, we shall soon realize we are dealing with an actual force. We are so intimately connected with the universal creative God power that it is impossible to get away from it. Hence, we never have to wonder whether or not we are in touch with it. It is where we are, and we are in it. It is in us. It is around us and flowing through us. We give direction to it. We have a perfect right to use it for any legitimate purpose of self-expression. If our whole intention is towards more life for ourselves and others, then nothing evil can result from our use of this law. It would be legitimate to use this law to demonstrate a loaf of bread, an automobile, a house, a physical healing for ourselves or others, or for any other purpose whatsoever. This law is neither big nor little. It knows nothing about time, space, or limitation. It merely knows how to do it. Since it is deductive only, deductive only, it cannot argue. Therefore, it must accept our conclusion about it as its conclusion about us. We do not have to go anywhere to find it because it is immediate presence within us. Boom! That comes from Lessons in Spiritual Mind Healing from 1943. I love this. They're taking us way back this month in all of these readings. So let's go into our affirmation for the day. Our daily affirmation today is a greater good than anything I have ever conceived is coming into my experience. I'm going to repeat that for those in the back. A greater good than anything I have ever conceived is coming into my experience. Boom, shakalaka. And so it is. And so it is. Okay, let me see what's going on now because says, Teddy, me and Mike have chats in my sleep about everything in my sleep. Too bad I can't remember when I wake up. Teddy, I hear you. I hear you. I'm going to suggest that one, we watch our words because that's what we practice on here, right? And what we're affirming. So I hear what you're saying. I hear you that you don't remember when you wake up. But maybe instead of affirming that into the universe, change your thought process into before you go to bed at night, setting the intention that you will remember, because our bodies, our minds, it follows along when we're the masters of it. So when we start minding our mind with our words, these types of things, they hold power, right? So that you will remember your dreams because you're excited to share and to experience that journey with Mike in your dreamland. And you know that you will remember your dreams when you wake up. And then before you go to sleep, ask Archangel Michael in a little prayer to help you with remembering your dream when you wake up. It might not happen like that. Sometimes things aren't as quick as we want, but it's the practice of. Set that intention every night before you go to bed. And just start watching. You might wake up and just remember one thing. But that's one more thing than you remembered before, right? Next day, maybe two, and just get excited and just knowing, because I already know for you that you do remember your dreams, and that block of false belief that you have within you telling you that you can't remember them have been magically removed, because you know in your higher self, your consciousness, that you have the ability to remember those dreams. I know it for you. You know it for you. Okay, so I do not see any other comments, Miss Kelly. I really think that there's a lag going on here or like I'm missing comments going on. I have to be missing comments. I'm not sure why, because the last thing I said, Tay said, I'm checking too, and I don't see anything from any of that. I'm on a beautiful journey to awaken. Is there anything I can do to help it along? Allie. Well, sweetie, I know, you know what I know. What I do know is absolutely always Spirit is divinely conspiring, bringing us along this journey, this path, to hear what we need to hear. And today we're talking about forgiveness, doing forgiveness work, allowing some of these things to come to the surface that we may need to do some forgiveness. And I'm, taking an example, taking some examination of people, places, and things that may be holding us back, may be holding us down. If we have any resentment, regret, anger, right? Resentment is resend me. Regret, re-get me, right? So especially when we're doing the spiritual work and we're waking up, that's the first part of doing this shadow work. When we're wanting to help ourselves along this spiritual journey, it's called shadow work. And that's the shadow work. Looking at these things that are coming up within ourselves that we maybe don't want to look at. Looking at different places, emotions, things that have been stuffed down that we haven't wanted to view, and allowing them to come up. Allowing it to come up, allowing it to be released and let go of, and understanding that forgiveness is just like what we were saying earlier, right? Forgiveness is, and the snake, I don't know if you just joined us, but we were talking about snake, and lots of us have had snake bites from things in this world that have happened to us, and the anti-venom of that poison, for us to get the poison out of our system, is forgiveness. And it doesn't mean that we're letting that person off the hook, or we ever have to allow that person to come back into striking range of our energy again. But the magic is in the forgiveness. So I would definitely say focusing on some forgiveness. If you're looking in that journey, look at where you can do some forgiveness work, some of these shadow work. And And then also, we're getting ready to pull a card from Archangel Michael. So we nourish ourselves, mind, body, and spirit on here. And because today is forgiveness, the focus, um, there's actually, sweetheart, for Allie, all good resources to help with shadow work. Yes, any good resources to help with shadow work. Well, definitely me. I recommend myself. Check out the, meditation. Really learning to just go within. Shadow work is a very individual journey. That's part of the spiritual journey, right? Um, and it comes up as it wants. And we can go hunting for it, but I always suggest just let it come as it comes, because then you're ready to release it. Um, we definitely can go in hunting and say, like, setting our intention to release a lot of stuff. Toxic cell memory releasing, that is something that I highly recommend when we're doing shadow work. Reiki, for sure, doing energy healings, learning Reiki for yourself. Are good ways to start to learn about just different tools, understanding your energy, how to check out your, really know what's happening within your own energy. It's about going within at this point right now in the awakening, especially with the light workers that are, for all of us, as we wake up as light workers. Our first step is going within, doing this shadow work, cleaning out, cleaning house, so that we can shine bright and then help others to wake up along the way. I'm going to have to watch the replay. My dad connected to me about my uncle's arrangements. Sending you so much love and light, sweetheart. Love you, hun. Wrapping your whole family in love and light, babes. Okay, so let's see what Michael has to say about forgiveness. Okay, I finally got her comment over here in Facebook. Kelly, oh my gosh, I don't know what is going on over here, Kelly, because it is not all that popped up was never mind. I finally see never mind. Having trouble with the cleaning house. Well, sweetie, so I would suggest a personal session. Really, honestly, that would be if you come over to my website, earthangelsheavensent.godaddysites.com, a spiritual coaching session would be what I would recommend right now for you with where you're at and the questions that you're asking about. Miss Leanne said that house cleaning though, whoo, right? She gets it, right? Totally get it. And what I would say is probably a spiritual session. A lot of times with my spiritual coaching work, what I like to do is I do a Reiki connection with you. I go through and we just kind of connect with your team, your guide, connecting with your energy, clearing house, and that way seeing where we just go from there. And let your team guide us along the way. But I help you to just connect with the stuff. I help you along the journey. It's just kind of I coach you along. That's what I do. Yeah, yeah, Jamaica. That's what it's called. Spiritual coaching. All right, I'll get it out. And that can be a variety. I mean, it's always, honestly, every person I work with, there's different tools, different things, different ways we go about it. So, woohoo! All right. All right. And I love it because this is always right. This is a group message, right? But I know the universe is always divinely conspiring just for you, just for you, just for you, right? And this is so divine with, I know, on point with some of us over there in Tickety Talk and all of us. It's so on point with all of us and what this forgiveness work can do for us. Michael is saying, right, let go of fear and do it now. Like, this is a now. This isn't a, take your time, whatever. He's like, no, like, this is the time to let it go. How is a coaching session different from a distance Reiki session? Well, if you schedule just a distance Reiki session with me, that is my intention. Those are usually about an hour, a little over an hour. And I just go into your energy systems and do a clearing and a cleansing and an activation. And that's pretty much it. I let you know kind of what I experience in there. It's a great release, it's a cleansing, and that's pretty much it. In a spiritual coaching session, I set the intention to do a quick clearing, cleansing, activating through your chakra systems. I connect with your spirit guides, and we get more into looking at what are the things coming up in your energy field that we can start to, what are some of these shadows, some of these things that were there that we can start to look at and approach in a little different way. So a breaky distance session are for those that are ready to work in the energy field, but they're just wanting it to kind of gently, they're just starting to look at that, outside of themselves, wanting a little help with their energy. And a coaching session is for those that are really waking up and wanting help with going within and learning to touch bases for themselves. That's the difference. I hope that makes sense a little bit, hopefully. Okay. So back to Michael saying, let go of the fear now, right? Let go of the fear. And we can literally call upon Archangel Michael with his beautiful sword to come forward, right? To come forward and to assist us with this forgiveness work. A lot of times when we say that magic key that unlocks the chains, right? For me, the way I see that, to be honest, is it's the etheric cords. It's the cords that we have. And Michael has this beautiful sword that he can come and he can cut these cords, right? But if we decide that we're not ready to be done with that, we just reattach it. So it's until we come in and say, no, we're going to use that magical key that we have of forgiveness. We are unattaching that from us. We are offering that forgiveness. We are letting it go fully. When that happens, Michael's able to use that sword and it just cuts it away and it comes out. It like releases. It's like we use the key to release the roots to be let go. Right? Let it go. And Michael's saying right now, a lot of us have a fear of forgiveness work, doing this forgiveness work, right? We have a fear that if we forgive somebody, that they'll be able to do those things to us again, or that if we forgive somebody, we'll be soft and gentle and we're going to be letting our guard down and we're going to get hurt again, right? If we do forgiveness, it can be a very fearful false belief, right? Fears are false events appearing real, right? So these fears of forgiveness can hold us trapped in the energy itself. And that's why spirit, great spirit, source, Archangel Michael is even coming in and saying, the magic that can happen with forgiveness is letting go of that fear, saying, you know what, I'm willing to face this. I don't want to resend that energy. I don't want to re-get it anymore. I'm done. I'm moving forward. I'm releasing it. I'm letting go of the fear and I'm giving forgiveness, offering forgiveness. So the prayer is, Archangel Michael, please help me feel safe and deserving of your guidance. Thank you for clearing me of heavy, toxic, or ego-based thoughts or feelings. And again, there's another tool. Somebody over there asking about the shadow work, right? Setting the intention and asking Archangel Michael, right, to reveal and clear the heavy, toxic, or ego-based thoughts or feelings. And then start paying attention to those so that we can remove and change those. That's doing shadow work. Looking at our thought processes and the way we react to information we receive. Looking at our reactions. That's shadow work. Okay. So, magic. Why this is important? Because it's magic. Literally, you guys, it's magic. I love it. It's magic. All right. So a DRS is like a tune-up for a car, and a coach is almost like a restoring old car. Yes. That's actually, yes. A distance Reiki session is like a tune-up. Absolutely. Teddy, what a great analogy. That was bomb, dude. That's a good one. A Reiki distance session is just like tuning up your car, sitting it in for a tune up. And a coaching session is like we're restoring, we're rebuilding. We're gonna tear it all apart and we're gonna build it back up. 100%, dude. You nailed it. I'm gonna use that. There's only one spirit here, right? Working through. Thank you, Teddy. I'm snagging that analogy for sure. All right, guys. Well, we've made it to the end of our hour. It's 9:30. It's been a blessing and an honor to hang out with you guys today. I have school and a little more homework to do. And then I do plan on actually being on this afternoon to do some readings. So I will be available. I'm going to need to schedule a coaching session. Send your Reiki session. Okay, sweetheart. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. We do. We need to get you scheduled, sweetie. You know where? You know how? Whoop whoop. Miss Leanne she had her for Reiki distance session. And we did kind of a little combo. We kind of did the a little combo there with you. And again, that's the way this works, right? Is it's all so individualized. That's what I love about spirit. There's no blueprint. There's no, each person gets this design. And I find it funny because like even looking at like in the world, how many diet plans we have out there and how many this and there's this plan and that plan. And if you only stick to this and this, and it's like we're all so individual. There's no way all of these little plans will fit individually for each person. And so I love it because spirit doesn't play that way. Spirit's like, nope, like every person gets their own playbook. Period. And it's really cool. So. And I have nothing about cars. Thanks for Mike. The only car that I know is Kit. See, that was spirit flowing through you, Teddy. I know that was spirit flowing, bringing the analogy that we would all understand. I love it. I love it. So it was amazing. It was amazing. I love getting to do it. I thought it's always amazing getting to work with others too. So thank you. I hope we get to work together soon, Leanne. I do. All right, guys, I am available to schedule if you would like a Reiki session, a coaching session, if you would like an intuitive reading. Let me know over on how often should I get a checkup with Reiki? So Reiki is an interesting, again, Reiki, just the distance healing is just like that. Like I said, Reiki healing it's like a tune-up, like going through clearing. If we're just talking Reiki, so you specifically, sweetie, we need to chat, I would say every couple of weeks, maybe with what we're got going on. And again, even with the spiritual coaching, that's a little bit like, some people I coach with like once a month. Some people I coach with once a week. It just depends on, and there's no right or wrong. It just depends on the person and where we're at and how we're, what we're doing. If you're just wanting Reiki, though, if you're just wanting Reiki, which is okay, like like that's how I started, honestly, way before I started talking to angels, doing spiritual work, doing any of this. I just got a few Reiki sessions myself and got some cleansing done, and I liked the way it felt. And that's cool. Like you can just totally do that. So if you're wanting to do that, there's like no limit. Literally, there's no limit. When you get Reiki lasts as far as detoxifying and cleansing up to 21 days. So, for me, I usually recommend like every 21 days, every 3 weeks, you could get a new, have a session, keep that beautiful flow. And again, there's people, I have clients that's all they want is Reiki, and that's okay. And that's, they do maybe once a month. Once every couple of months, they have a session, they're balanced, they feel good, they're happy with it. That's great. That's as good as they're ready to go. And it works. That's okay. And then again, if you're doing the coaching session, though, definitely at least minimum once a month. If we're doing coaching sessions, it's minimum once a month. Dealio. So, and every coaching session, I don't always go into all of your chakras either. It's like, again, that's that up in the air, depends on what we're doing and what we're being called to do type deal, right? Usually I'm in your energy, but not always in that same way, right? Miss Leanne says, mine lasted the full 21 days, then recoup. It's time. See, time to re-up. I love it. I love it. All right, guys. I love you guys. Reiki. I am taking on, I'm so excited. I have one student just graduated. I'm so excited for him. He just graduated Reiki 2. I am going to be, and he took it last year. It's been right at a year. So anyway, I'm going to be taking 7 new students. I do limit it to 7 so that I make sure that I'm available to be available for you guys as we go through. So I'm teaching Reiki 1, just level 1 this year, this fall. And that is available under classes and certifications under the services on the Earth Angel page. If you'd like to sign up for that, let me know. Or go sign up. And it is going to be next month on a Saturday. It's a 6-hour class. We will have some breaks, and then just expect you will have an attunement. So we'll have that full 6 hours in class, and then I will need you to hold a space within the next couple hours after that. You'll have a small 20-minute little window where I will do a little attunement with you and get you going. So let me know if you want to sign up for those. And again, all of my other services are available over on earthangelsheavensent.godaddysite.com. So come check us out. All right, guys, love and light. And I will be back tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. I don't know what the animal will be yet. We're going to figure it out when we get there. Too bad that Reiki 1 can't happen. 3-hour night classes over 2 days. Well, Teddy, it's not that it can't. It could. And I actually have a couple of people that are requesting that. You're not the only one. So stay tuned. That might be a thing. We might do it that way. So, yeah, I have 2 or 3 other people that are asking for weeknights. So we'll see. If I need to do some adjustments, I will. We'll see. All right, guys, I love you. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you back here tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. Love and light. Reiki is a Japanese technique for stress reduction and relaxation that also promotes healing. It is based on the idea that the unseen life force energy flows through us and is what causes us to be alive. If one's life force energy is low, then we are more likely to get sick or feel stressed. And if it is high, we are more capable of being happy and healthy. Reiki is a simple, natural, and safe method of healing and self-improvement that anyone can use. It has been effective in helping virtually every known illness, and it always creates a beneficial effect. Reiki works in conjunction with all other medical or therapeutical techniques to relieve side effects and promote recovery. And because Reiki is all about the energy, it can be done at a distance, allowing you to enjoy a nice, relaxing session safely in the comfort of your own home. Schedule your in-person or distance session today. I look forward to working with you soon. Namaste.